Have you ever wondered if your body is actively trying to warn you about a heart attack, like weeks, days, or even just hours before it actually happens? Well, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a real medical mystery. The frightening truth is, so many people who suffer a heart attack actually remember having unusual symptoms beforehand, but they just never connected the dots until it was completely too late. So we're going to decode those silent signals your body might be sending you right now.
Look, if you're over 50, it's incredibly common to just brush off subtle changes in how you feel, right? You might blame it on stress at work, a couple of nights of terrible sleep, or just getting older. But what if those aren't just normal aches and pains? Today, we're revealing 7 silent warning signs that doctors say you should literally never ignore. And stick with me here, because that final sign, it's going to surprise you. It shows up in a way most people would absolutely never expect.
There's this massive misconception we all share. Heart disease is still a leading cause of death worldwide. But we kind of assume a heart attack always looks like a dramatic movie scene, A sudden, crushing chest pain where someone just collapses. But in reality, the body often sends out incredibly subtle signals way before a major cardiac event happens. It's like a whisper before a shout. The challenge, and really the whole goal of our explainer today, is spotting those signals while you still have plenty of time to act.
Sign number 1, energy and breathing changes. Let's look at the very first silent sign on our list, unusual fatigue. So why does this profound, bone-deep exhaustion happen? Biologically speaking, it all starts when your heart has to work way harder to pump blood through narrowed arteries. Because your circulation takes a hit, your muscles and organs are just getting less oxygen. The direct result? You feel totally drained after simple, everyday tasks that used to be a total breeze, like just walking up a flight of stairs. And here's the truly shocking part. Some people feel this exact fatigue days or even weeks before a heart attack, but they just write it off as aging or a long week at work.
Now, fatigue alone isn't enough to predict a heart attack, so we have to look at the second silent sign, shortness of breath. I want you to do a quick self-audit right now. Have you noticed yourself getting winded just walking, climbing stairs, or doing routine chores? If activities that once felt completely effortless are suddenly leaving you gasping for air, well, that's a huge red flag that your heart might be struggling to keep up with your body's demands.
The absolutely crucial thing here is understanding what's actually happening inside your chest. When your heart can't pump blood efficiently, fluid can actually start pooling in your lungs. That's the real reason breathing gets so tough. And what's super dangerous is that some folks get this shortness of breath without any chest pain whatsoever. They just falsely assume, oh, I'm just out of shape. But listen, when breathlessness hits suddenly or gets noticeably worse over time, you absolutely need to bring it up with a healthcare professional.
Sign number 3, unexpected pain locations. We're so conditioned to think heart problems only happen right in the center of the chest, but human anatomy tells a completely different story.
These pain signals can actually radiate out like a web. Warning signs can pop up in your jaw, your neck, your shoulders, your back, or even your arms. Why? Because the nerve pathways connected to your heart can misfire and send pain signals to completely different parts of the body. That's exactly why one person might feel a weird ache in their left arm, while someone else gets a strange, tight pain in their jaw or upper back. The biggest mistake you can make here is just assuming it's a random muscle strain, arthritis, or bad posture. If it comes on suddenly, feels out of the ordinary, or happens alongside other symptoms, you've got to pay attention. Moving right along, our fourth silent sign is one that so many people instantly brush off after a big meal: nausea, bloating, or stomach discomfort. It's crazy, but some people have heart symptoms that feel way more like a digestive issue. They might feel nauseous or get a burning sensation that perfectly mimics heartburn. And it is incredibly dangerous when folks just pop an antacid instead of seeking medical advice. Look, normal indigestion is totally harmless, sure, but reoccurring digestive discomfort, especially when it's mixed with fatigue, breathlessness, or chest pressure, that should literally never be ignored.
Signs 5 and 6, sleep and sweat warnings. Let's start with the fifth sign, unexplained sleep disturbances, like restless sleep, frequent waking, or sudden nighttime discomfort. And that brings us to the sixth silent sign, which often hides right in plain sight: unexplained cold sweats. Just imagine this for a second. You're sitting comfortably in a nice cool room, and suddenly you just break out into a sweat for absolutely no reason. This happens because your body is reacting to the intense stress on your cardiovascular system. It's so easy to mistake this for general anxiety, a random hot flash, or just being overdressed. But unexplained sweating, especially if it's tagging along with chest discomfort, nausea, or shortness of breath, needs to be taken very, very seriously.
So you're probably sitting there thinking, wait, what about chest pain? We've gone through 6 signs already, and now we're finally at the 7th and most overlooked warning sign, the one that so many people completely misunderstand.
The 7th silent sign is chest pressure, or a discomfort that kind of just comes and goes. Contrary to popular belief, heart-related discomfort isn't always this severe, agonizing thing. Usually it's described as a mild tightness, a squeezing sensation, fullness, heaviness, or just mild pressure rather than a sharp, stabbing pain. And because it's mild, people dangerously ignore it. They just sit there, waiting for it to get worse, thinking a real heart attack would be super obvious. But remember, the body doesn't always follow the dramatic script we see in the movies.
The big picture, combining the clues. Now, having just one of these symptoms doesn't automatically mean you're having a heart attack, but when a few of them show up together or suddenly get worse, that is a major red flag. Let's map this out with a real-life timeline. Take this 67-year-old man who noticed he was getting super tired and a little breathless just doing some light gardening. At first, he figured he was just getting older, but a couple of days later, he felt this weird discomfort in his jaw and started sweating for no reason. Luckily, instead of just brushing it off, he went to the doctor. Because he connected the dots, his medical team spotted some major blockages and stepped in before a full-blown cardiac emergency actually happened.
But unfortunately, not everyone acts like the man in that story. In fact, here's the absolute biggest mistake people make when their body sends these silent signals. They wait. They just wait for the symptoms to become unbearable. They wait until that mild, nagging discomfort finally turns into severe pain.
And why do they wait? Well, mostly because they're terrified of overreacting. They don't want to make a fuss, be an inconvenience, or sit in a doctor's office just to be told it's nothing. Honestly, this psychological hurdle is one of the most dangerous things about cardiovascular health.
But the bottom line is early action saves lives. When we're talking about your heart, getting checked out early is always better than waiting too long. Your body is constantly communicating with you, sending you these little data points on how it's running. The real question is, are you actually willing to listen to what it's saying?
Prevention and action. So what are the proactive steps you can take to protect your cardiovascular health right now, today?
Doctors universally agree on a few key habits that really support long-term heart health. First off, stay physically active, whatever that looks like for your ability level. Second, fuel your body with a balanced diet, packed with fruits, veggies, whole grains, and lean proteins. You've also got to keep a close eye on your blood pressure, your cholesterol, and your blood sugar. Please avoid smoking entirely. Make sure you're getting enough solid, restful sleep. And finally, keep up with those regular medical checkups so your doctor actually knows what your normal baseline looks like.
So I'm going to ask you directly, are you listening to your body's subtle changes? Those little shifts in your energy levels, your breathing, your sleep patterns, your digestion, unexpected sweats, or just mild discomfort? Sure, they might be nothing to worry about, but they could also be early warning signs that desperately need your attention.
The single most powerful thing you can do for yourself and your loved ones is to stay informed. Pay attention to your body, trust your gut, and seek out professional medical advice the second something just doesn't feel right. Do not let the fear of overreacting stop you from making a potentially life-saving phone call to your doctor.
I want to leave you with this really powerful perspective. Recognizing a warning sign doesn't create fear. It creates opportunity. It creates the exact opportunity you need to take action, get help, and potentially stop a life-threatening emergency in its tracks long before it happens.
If you found this explainer helpful in decoding the silent signals of your heart health, hit that subscribe button for more health insights specifically designed to empower adults over 50. And hey, I'd really love to hear from you in the comments below. Which of these 7 warning signs surprised you the most? Keep learning, stay proactive, and take care of your heart.